Hey there, welcome to Synth Seeker. My name is Luke. It's Memorial Day weekend here in the US, long weekend, and my offspring is off working, and my wife is off doing a sort of romance novel TV show marathon for like 8 hours today, so it's just me and the dog here in the house. And I thought I would respond to a few comments, specifically around sharing the sets that I'm doing in Ableton Live. So I took it upon myself. I said, you know what, let's make a little toy. Let's make a sandbox. So I put together a little Ableton Live set. I populated it with a bunch of clips for bass lines and a bunch of clips for melodies. Compressed it all together, threw some effects in there, and basically uploaded that. Link in the description, and you can download it. It requires Ableton Live 11, but it should work with Suite as well as the main one, Ableton Studio, whatever the mid tier, the normal one is called. I think it will work with Ableton Live Lite. I didn't use any effects. I don't think I used any effects that aren't available in the Lite version as well. But hey, give me feedback. Best I can do. I use Studio. But I tried. There's no Max for Live in this one. There's none of the crazy stuff. It doesn't use the Echo device or anything like that. None of the crazy synths. In fact, I left the synths blank. So anyway, download that, link in the description. Let's talk about what we got here. This is meant to be a purely enjoyment toy you can use to experiment with some of the techniques that I've been talking about in previous videos for Berlin School music or synthwavy stuff. And let's take it apart and I'll show you how to use it. Okay, so download that, open it up in Ableton, and you'll see this. Okay, what we're looking at is there's 3 tracks. There's a bass track, a melody track, and a rhythm track. The rhythm track just has this just kick and hat thing just to hold some rhythm, just to give us a beat. And in the bass track are 12 clips. Okay, and these are all just bass lines, different bass line clips. They're all rooted in C minor. Everything's in C minor today. All right. And the point of this is to give you something to play with. And then you can take this as a pattern and then go build your own. Okay. The melody is the same way. There's 16 or 12 melody clips in here. They're all rooted again in C minor. All right. And they're just meant to be toys that you can play with. Okay. So what do we have here? When you look at the instrument rack, okay, there's a pitch control. We'll get into why that's there. There's a scale plugin. They're all set to C minor in both of these, bass and melody, C minor. Okay. You'll notice that there is no instrument. Okay, I expect you to drop your own instrument in here. In fact, I'm going to drop a bass instrument in here. Let's throw in this little bass sequence, funky bass. I'm going to just collapse it immediately. Tweak a bit if you need to. All right, and then I'm just going to collapse that up because I don't really care about that too much. And then we need a melody instrument. Let's put in a funky pluck. All right, funky pluck. All right, now when you're looking at this, next to it is this little effects rack called Simplified Effects. I just threw this in there as a placeholder. If you have your favorite effects, delays, reverbs, whatever, you want to throw these in here, go right ahead. But I just cooked this up because it's got chorus, a couple kinds of chorus, phaser, reverb, and delay. All right. And, play with the knobs, see what it's all about. But it's basically, if you want to bring in the delay here. Do the same thing over on the melody side. I'm going to just collapse the funky pluck. All right, and bring in some delay. Remember, I tend to do quarter note delays or dotted eighth note delays or eighth note delays for the most part when I'm playing with Berlin School or this synthwave stuff. And we've got these in here. This one's got a little phaser and a whole lot of reverb, maybe too much. All right. And then we can look at these clips. All right. So let's play the first one, bass 1. All right, bass 1. Let's look at melody 1. We'll start this playing when this one comes around again. We'll start up melody 1. Let's play with the effects a little bit. And now I've got this utility plugin on the end because I like to sort of play with the gain here. We could play with the faders, but I tend to use those in mixing. And when I just want to sort of get things about the same level, like gain staging, I just use a utility on the end. So let's turn this down about 3. There we go. Now, let's talk about some of the techniques, okay? Links in the corner to all the videos for that. But let's say we wanted to do some phasing with this melody one, right? Well, we could just duplicate this whole track. We'll call this melody 2, or melody phased. All right? And it's currently exactly the same. If I stop this and start this one playing, there's our copy. That's fine. But we're going to play with the clip. We're going to shorten the clip length. We're going to get some phasing in here. I'm going to drop it by 2 beats. Okay, now when we start these up together, these are playing in unison, but this one's gonna loop sooner. Right. That's all it is, right? We're just playing with some note phasing. Got these going. We'll change this color to make it slightly different, so we can tell the difference there. Now we've got all these clips. They're all in C minor, all of these. So we could just change the bass line. Let's play this one here. Let's pick a different one. Bass 5. Right? Let's move these melodies around a bit. Let's stop this one. Just play with the first main melody. Pick a different clip this time. Let's do melody 6. And we'll play melody 3 across that. Right? So this is just a playground, right? If you're using a grid like a push or something like this, and you can go into session mode, you can just play and launch these things. Let's see. Let's try one of these other ones. We'll do these 3 here. Right? All of these things, when you play 3 of these clips, they're beds. It gives you this sort of Berlin School bed. And that's because of our delay and our reverb and the way we're all sort of fixated in C minor at this point. Well, let's just launch a whole scene here. These are in unison, so let's create a phase for this one. Let's turn off the bass for a second. If we look at both of these clips at the same time. Right. Here they are playing phased. Now, you don't have to have the same instrument, right? We could swap these instruments out. Let's go back here. So we've got this funky pluck playing here for this melody, and our melody phased is also funky pluck. But let's make it something else. Let's drop in a water pluck. Let's bring the bass back in. Bass part. We could phase this one too. Change the delay on this one. So this phased melody, let's change the delay time. Let's make it quarter note delays. change our bass line again. Now let's duplicate the bass part. Duplicate that track. Change its color slightly. And we'll put in a different instrument. We'll put in one of my faves. I like this Rickenbacker bass. Let's see. Gotta play with it a little bit. Rick bass. Let's see. Bring the gain back up. Oh, let's try that again. Let's solo these. Back in. All right, so this is a playground for you guys. 12 clips for bass, 12 clips for melody. Duplicate them as many times as you want. Mix and match as you go. Play with the effects and just have a good time with it, right? Clipping a bit. We're talking about gain staging and we're not. Let's see. Let's change these a bit. Let's pull everything down ever so slightly. Let's keep it interesting. New clip. Alright, as I'm pulling these all down by 3 decibels. That's fine, I think. I think that's okay too. Let's try another scene. And really that's it. So you can play with these. This is a playground, a gift from me to you for Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully, if you're not in the US, hopefully you can just play with it on the weekend. You don't have Monday of no work. Or maybe not, that's okay. You know, go nuts. Let's see. You know, so with any of these, you can change the length of the clip, mix and match as you go. Oh, one other thing. All right, so let's talk about global transposition. So I've got a global transposition plugin. It's in Max for Live. I've been fiddling around with it. So what I did was, you may not have Max for Live. Fine. So get yourself another little controller, right? That's what this is. I've got a little tiny USB extra keyboard, right? So I've got my main input, my master controller. That's fine. You may have a keyboard, something like that. Get a secondary controller, something that'll send MIDI notes. This is a little 2-octave Q Nexus, right? This thing, I think it's been run over by a car at least a couple times, but it keeps working. So that's why it's in the keep it in the stockpile, because it just won't die. Now, each clip, it's got this pitch control at the beginning. Okay. Collapse. Pitch, 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 and pitch. All right. We're going to map this controller, specifically these 2 octaves, to these 4 pitch controls. All right. So this is how it works. Bring up MIDI mapping. Okay. You can get that by hitting Command or Control M. Everything's sort of, anything you can map turns a little blue there. In each of these tracks, for the pitch control, select the pitch dial and then press and hold the length of the keyboard that you want to, the controller you want to transpose. So I'm going to press the lowest C, and while I'm holding it down, I'm going to press the highest C. All right, now what you're going to see here in your mapping is going to say, oh, we're mapping the note range from C2 to C4 in this thing, okay? And you want to set it, that's a 2-octave range, so I'm going to set it from -12 to +12. That's a 2-octave range, okay? I've mapped this little extra controller to that pitch control, and that'll let me do global transpositions. I'm going to do that for each of these tracks. So bass track selected, pitch, C2 through C4, and set these things. I know this is kind of nerdy, but Learning to do MIDI mappings is a good thing. We'll do it here for the melody as well. I'll select the pitch control, range C2 to C4. Okay, almost done. We got to do this just one more time. And then this melody, pitch control, there's the dial, C2 to C4. And then set the range, -12 to +12. Now, if I turn it off, hit Command or Control M again. Now, whenever I hit a note on this keyboard, you'll see this pitch control change. Right? There's an octave down, there's an octave up, there's back in the middle. So I can do global transpositions. Now, because this pitch control is in front of the minor, the C minor scale plugin, when I do these transpositions, it'll keep them in scale. All right. So let's start this up playing again. All right. So it's playing. That's fine. We can do transpositions, and we'll transpose all the instruments at once. All right. So someone asked, how do you perform with this? Well, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm going to do a prepared set with a bunch of clips, I'll use global transposition and then session mode to control what's playing when. All right, so let's do it this way. Let's go. I'm just walking up. G sharp, A sharp, C. Lost our rhythm. Now, why did that happen? That's because I've only got this rhythm part on the very first scene, and then all the other scenes have these stop buttons on it. Well, you can select those scenes, right-click on them, and say Remove Stop Button. And now, when it's playing, if you pick another scene, it won't stop. Right. So now we can mix and match as we're going through and do transpositions at the same time. So I'm changing the patterns that's playing as well as the root. Really, it's that easy. And so you can use this to build your whole set. And you can record these transpositions. You can record this MIDI input to another channel and then play it all back. So you could actually have literally the just press play sort of set. Once you've done a performance, you can record it and then be able to play it back whenever you want. All right. Let's see. Go. All right. So I'm just launching scenes and doing transposition in real time. If you want to do something slower, if you want to do, if you're doing old school classic sort of Berlin school, you could actually do these one at a time, right? Right. And have a mixing control device like a mixer and bring things in and out, right? Or you could use the mutes to do it, right? So here's my gift to you. Play with this. It's a little sandbox to play with. When you open it up, it'll have 2 tracks with all the clips for bass and melody. Duplicate them as much as you want. Drop in your own instrument. Play with the effects. Go nuts. All right. Review the section of this. I'll put in a bookmark in the video as far as setting up global transposition with another controller. That'll save you from having to use Max for Live. I just do Max for convenience, because then I can just have a single control surface to deal with it. But if you got the space on your desk for an extra one, go for it. And, you know, launch scenes, launch clips, do your transposition live. You can record all that stuff, capture it in its own MIDI track, and have fun with it. So here you go. Berlin School / Synthwave Playground. Thanks. You have been watching Synth Seeker. Have a great weekend.